Jonathan Sacerdoti joins us right now, royal expert extraordinaire. Jonathan, what do you make of all of this?
Well, Prince Harry had something to say about royal experts, by the way, so I think you should be careful calling me that. He said that we're all unqualified and we're just journalists who happen to cover the royal family, which is pretty much true. We are journalists who cover the royal family. That's how we're qualified. We research it and we talk about it. What do I make of it? I mean, I'll be honest with you, Neil. I thought the whole thing was pretty boring. I watched it on 1.5 speed. Thank you, Netflix, for that facility. And it was still pretty dull and hard going.
Now, I'm a little incredulous here to think that at least Netflix didn't reach out to the royal family. We don't know the real story on that. But then, of course, it's about how you aggressively go about getting their take on this. Do you think they ever did? And do you think if they did, the royal family should have said something?
Journalistically, I know that when you're talking about someone, especially somebody very public, very famous, you do go to them and give them a right to respond, a right to set you correct if you're wrong. So one can only assume that Netflix should have done. And if there is now this rumor that they didn't do it, well, that's another problem that comes hot on the heels of the other problems we saw even before Netflix dropped the actual episodes. We saw these controversies over the clips they put in the trailers that weren't even anything to do with Harry and Meghan. Shots of the paparazzi chasing people, but they weren't chasing them. So I think that there are questions for the program makers to be answered. But I think the bigger questions that anyone who's sat through this turgid and boring three-parter so far have are not really about those details. They're more about why on earth did Netflix pay so many millions of dollars for a load of old news we'd already heard an overly long Oprah Winfrey interview?
You know, if you didn't know any better looking at this, I've not seen it. I've seen a lot of the highlights, but it almost looks like The Crown, just a slightly more hyped up version. Even the typeface on the names and all. Or am I just imagining things?
Listen, I wondered why, for example, Prince Harry didn't say anything about the inaccuracies in The Crown. Plenty of other royals apparently are unhappy with how they're portrayed there, and plenty of other people who aren't in the royal family and are therefore freer to speak out, like Sir John Major, the former Prime Minister, did speak out before season 5 of The Crown and say that it's not accurate. Prince Harry, on the other hand, told James Corden in that interview he did that, well, it was, more or less accurate, no less accurate than some of the stuff the press wrote about him, and that it gave a sort of general sense of things. I wonder if there's an unspoken deal, perhaps, or something even more between Harry and Netflix, where they'll kind of go easy on him, stop making The Crown before he would have been in it too much, before perhaps we'd see that Nazi uniform bit or the strip poker that he was playing in Vegas, all those sorts of things that could be embarrassing to him. Maybe if in return he did this sort of series with them. I don't know. That's just speculation on my part. But certainly it's a follow-on for Netflix. The Crown's running out of steam, and this is something else that they know they'll get massive numbers for.
We'll watch closely, and thank God you are a royal expert. We need them.